Namaste everybody. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shiva Shakti Samarambham Bhaskararaya Madhyamam Asmat Srinatha Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So today we will continue to look into the meanings of the Devi Stuti, also called Sarva Siddhikari Stotram, as we learn to chant the verse. So last class I think we covered meanings of 3 verses. So as we saw in the last class, Sri Bhaskararaya starts his commentary, Setubandha, on NityaShodashikarnava. It's a tantra. It's a part of Vamakeshvara tantra. So he writes his commentary called Setubandha on this NityaShodashikarnava, with starting with these 12 verses of Devi Stuti. Now, I know we did some meanings. We went through the meanings of the first 3 verses last class, but there are some more additional points that we want to share with you all. So today again, we will be starting from the first verse. Now, those who are joining new, this Devi Stuti is part of the tantra called Tantraraja Tantram, which Bhaskararaya, he has extracted these 12 verses from that tantram and has used it as a mangalaacharanam for writing Setubandha. Now there are 64 tantras available. The 65th tantra is called the Vamakeshvara tantra. Sri Adi Shankaracharya praises this to be a swatantram in the 31st verse in Saundarya Lahari. He says it is independent of all tantras, and he has quoted that, he has mentioned that this tantra is very auspicious and it gives a lot of metaphysical meanings of the Sri Vidya. NityaShodashikarnava is a part in this tantram. It's a part of Vamakeshvara tantram. Many have given many different commentaries on this NityaShodashikarnava. Setubandha, the commentary done by Bhaskararaya or Kulaguru, who we follow, the commentary name is Setubandha. Now, NityaShodashikarnavam, the word Arnavam means ocean. So, the actual meaning of NityaShodashikarnava is the ocean of the 16 Nityas. Shodashi is the 16, and so it's called the ocean of the 16 Nityas. Basically, it gives the Chakra Sanketa, then Puja Sanketa, and Mantra Sanketa. If we need to go across an ocean, we need to cross the ocean, we need to build a bridge. So this is why probably Bhaskararaya named his commentary as Setubandha. Setu means a bridge. That is, a bridge needs to be built if we need to go across the ocean. So he probably wants to indicate that this is the bridge for us to get across this ocean called samsara. So it's an important text explaining all points of NityaShodashikarnava to help us cross this ocean. It is a great text which has this 12 verses of Devi Stuti, also called the Sarva Siddhikari Stotra. This stuti, he has used it as the mangalaacharanam. Mangalaacharanam is basically an auspicious verse that commentators use before they start their actual commentary. Also, now we may get a question in mind. Bhaskararaya has used the stotra in the beginning of his commentary. So does it mean that we should recite the stuti in the beginning of our puja? Our Guru, Sri Vimarshanandanathendra Saraswati Swamigal, has always instructed us to finish the puja with the stuti. Now, Bhaskararaya has also mentioned in Setubandha that we have to finish puja with Devi Stuti as mentioned in the Puja Sanketa. So don't get confused. Just because he has started his commentary with this 12 verses, it doesn't mean that we should also start with this verse at the beginning of our puja. So the ashram has the parampara of reciting this at the end of the puja. Now, this stuti has all that we need to aspire for. So, just doing the parayana of this stuti itself is highly auspicious. Doing parayana along with an understanding of the meaning will bring the bhavana in our minds. Bhavano paro jivan mukto bhavati says Bhavanopanishad. So, the bhavana is very important. And how would a bhavana come? Only by understanding the deeper meaning which the verse tries to say. So that is why we have taken this with the guru's blessings and with the elders' blessings. We are trying to um, go through the meanings of Bhaskararaya's commentary. So the whatever meaning that we are explaining during these classes are entirely not ours. It is based on entirely Bhaskararaya's commentary. So, whatever he has given, we have tried to condense it, and we are trying to explain it during these classes.
As Akhilaji mentioned, this the meaning of this Devi Stuti becomes paramount, becomes very important, because this is more part of the Antaryaga. Becomes when the internal worship has to happen, you need to have an awareness of what it is, so that we get the bhavana as explained by Akhilaji. A quick recap of the first verse now. We saw that the three forms of upasana are sthula, sukshma, and para. We saw that the first line, Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, Yogini, Rashi, along with Pita, all together have 157 deities who are all manifestations of Devi. Bhaskararaya says, though through this verse, that we and what we understand that nyasam is the most important step to perform before any sadhana. You all know that how much importance we give in Bhaskar Prakash Ashrama to the nyasa part. All the six of the components, which is the Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, Yogini, Rashi, and Pita, the six components, they are called the Laghu Shodha Nyasam. Let us see, let us look at some points he has discussed about this verse. He says, why do we need to do the nyasas? It's a very important question he is asking. If there is no need, prayojana or benefit, even a manda buddhi or a dumb person will not do any karya or any effort if it is not going to have any benefit. He says that when someone does nyasa, sayeva parameshvaraha, he becomes in the end the parameshvara himself. So when we do the nyasa, when you are doing the Ganesha nyasa, you become that devata Ganesha. Same thing if you are doing the Navagraha, you become that Navagraha Devatas, you become that Rashi Devatas. So that it becomes so important to place that particular Devata in our own body. And Mantramayim Devim Aham Naumi. It means I, to that Devi who is in the form of mantras, I bow down. A few more important points he has discussed. The word Mantramayim is very, very important. Mayi. When we say water, we say jalam. When we want to say that there is lots of water, lots and lots, like it's flooded, and we say everything we say is jalamayam. So that mayam is used when we say there is excess. Similarly, the word mayim attached to a mantra indicates that the Devi is mantramayim. That is, who is mantramaya, meaning not one mantra, but a crowd of mantras. Mantramayi means she is in the form of mantras of all devatas. So when we pray to Devi, you are praying to all the 7 crore devatas or the 70 million devatas. We saw that the Matrika means, Matrika is R to Ksha. That is why it's called Akshara. Mantranam Achintya Shakti. In Kalpa Sutra, it is said that the Shakti or power of mantra is Achintya. That is, it cannot be even imagined. Ma means to measure. That is, mantras are immeasurable. With our limited knowledge, how can we measure the mantras? Just because a devata has just one bijakshara, it doesn't mean that the value is smaller than a devata which has a longer mantra. For example, a Saraswati, Parasaraswati mantra will be very small, but if you take the Bhagamalini or Varahi mantra, it is very long. Then we should never say, oh, this mantra is powerful because it is long. So here,
many
yeah,
words.
many words or many syllables. It doesn't matter. Bhaskararaya says that every mantra, every combination of this matrika are very powerful. And also, he explains prapancham. When we say that in the first line, it's very important. Out of the 6 in the Lagushoda Nyasa, he gives only the 5. And the 6th one is the Pita is given in the second line of this verse.
So Prapancham, he explains in the following verses of the Devi Stuti.
Yeah. And that Prapancham is the material world, he says, is formed from this Shabda or the mantras. That is why the Prapancham, Murti, Mantra, Devata, and Matrikas are in this verse, which are all actually components of Mahashodha Nyasam. This verse is indicating not just Laghu Shodha Nyasa, but also Mahashodha Nyasa.
Yeah, but he also raises the question, Ganesha has been used first. Why has Ganesha been used first? Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupinim Devim Mantramayim Naumi Matrikam Pitha Rupinim. So Naumi means I bow down. So who is he bow down? Who are we bowing down to? Is Devi. So Devi is the main person here, but the stuti has started with Ganesha. So here Bhaskararaya in his commentary has raised this question, Ganesha, why has he been used first? Even though we have so many ways to ward off the obstacles, he continues to say, he raises the question and he also continues to give an answer. Even though we have so many ways to remove the obstacles, to show that only Ganesha Aradhanam can remove all the obstacles, the Ganesha word has been used as a starting word. Now, the empress of Sri Chakra is Mahatripurasundari. Empress, she is the Maharagni, she is the Maharani of Sri Chakra. She is Lalita Mahatripurasundari. Now, one may ask why we are mentioning first Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, Yogini, Rashi, and then we are coming to Devi, Mantramayim Devi. We are talking about her. So, but the Sri Chakra Empress is Devi, but before even invoking her, we are actually starting off with Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, etc. Now, Devi is the main Empress here, but the reason for calling out all other gods is to explain that to this Bhaskararaya in his commentary, he says, before we actually enter the chamber of a prime minister or a chief minister, we need to meet their assistants first to be in their good books. Similarly, before entering the abode of Mahatripurasundari, these gods, Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, Yogini, Rashi, they are invoked first, they are called out. And this is the reason that because they are the assistants of the main god, Devi, that we are calling out their names first. Now, one may ask, when we are mentioning the 6 components of Laghu Shodha Nyasam, Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, Yogini, Rashi, and Pitha, the first 5 have been grouped together, whereas the last one, Pitha, has been placed at the second verse at the end. Devim Mantramayim Naumi Matrikam Pitha Rupinim. Pitha comes at the end. Whereas we say that all of these components, Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, Yogini, Rashi, and Pitha, are all components of the same Laghu Shodanyasam. Why should the last component, Pitha, be placed at the end of the verse? Now, Bhaskararaya has interpreted this verse in two ways. In the first way, we can say Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Pitha Rupinim Mantramayim Devim Aham Naumi. That is, to that Devi I bow down, who is the Graha, who is in the form of Ganesha, Graha, Nakshatra, Yogini, Rashi, and Pitha. And also to that Mantramayi Devi, who is also the abode of the crowd of mantras, to that Devi, Aham Naumi, I prostrate. Here, all the six components, this indicates all the six components of Laghu Shodanyasam that we have already seen. Now, Bhaskararaya has interpreted this verse in another way, that Pitha can be taken as the four important Pithas in Sri Vidya. They are called Odhyana Pitha, Purnagiri Pitha, Jalandhara Pitha, and Kamagiri Pitha. These Pithas together represent this word Pitha. So that itself, that means that actually the word Pitha means the Sri Chakra itself. So here, Pitham, the word Pitham has been used as an adjective for Devi. So another way to interpret is, I bow down to that Devi who is in the form of Mantramayi, Sri Chakra Pitha, and who is the embodiment of 51 Ganeshas, 9 Grahas, 27 Nakshatras, 7 Yoginis, and 12 Rashis. So here we will we'll do the Anvaya of the verse as Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupini Devim Mantramayim Pitha Rupinim Naumi. So he has also proceeded his in further commentary. He has also done the Uddharana of Hadi Vidya in the first line. Now let's move on to the second verse. Pranamami Mahadevim Matrikam Parameshwarim Kala Hallo Halollola Kalana Shamakarini. So in this verse, you have to be careful. The second line, when it says Kala Hallo Halollola Kalana Shamakarini, people will tend to say this as Nasha, because Nasha is a popular word. We will try to say Nashakarini, Nashamakarini, but it is not that. The meaning will completely change. It's actually Kalana Shamakarini. So there should be a pause. Like the word is broken as Kalana Shamakarini. Kala Hallo Halollola Kalana Shamakarini. So in the last class, we looked at all the meanings of each of those words, but a quick recap of the meanings. Hallo hala means speed with which the time is chasing us. Kala chases us with great speed. Now in hallo hala, it is actually hal plus lohala. Lohala itself means vegaha, that is speed. Now adding hallo hala means that this speed is being multiplied by like million times. That is extreme speed. So while we are actually talking, we know that we have already lost a few minutes, right? So the time keeps running and running and running without even our knowledge. We don't have any control. Even if we can get anything that we have lost, but if we have lost 1 minute, we cannot get back the time. So it just chases us and it goes in great speed. How it comes like waves. Ullola means waves. Like ullola, the synonyms are urmihi, tarangaha, vichi, and so on. But they have used this word ullola just to be in rhythm with, rhyming with hallo hala. So kala hallo kalana shamakarini. So the ullola waves means the strong waves of the ocean of time are faced. Why is it being mentioned here? The strong waves of the ocean can be faced only by a skilled person. Anybody who stands in front of this time, nobody can even face it. It can be faced only by a skilled person. Now, kalana means to contain or control. So, control of time waves cannot be done by anyone. Shamakarini means Nashakarini. So, this is why I said kalana is a separate word and Shamakarini is Nashakarini.
How does Shiva get the capability to control Kala?
So, this Kala is actually the Shiva himself.
Yeah, he is as the Kala. We also call him Kala Bhairava. As Kala, being the controller of time, only due to Devi's Tatanka Mahima, as mentioned in the 28th verse of Saundarlahari.
Yeah.
So it means the time, when the time of Pralaya comes, everyone, including Brahma, Vishnu, all those who have been created, they are all destroyed, or during the time they are pulled back to the source. Nobody is there, but only one person is still there, which is
Shiva.
The Shiva. And Shiva, even though in fact Shiva has drunk the poison, so it is, even though he has drunk the poison, still he is there. And why? And it is said by the Shankaracharya in the 28th verse of Saundarlahari. He says, Karalam yakshvelam kabalitavataha kalakalana na shambhos tanmulam tavajanani tatanka mahima. So the tatanka, Shiva, when he had poison, how was he able to overcome the poison's effect and stay alive? It was only because of the tatanka or earrings, which is worn by the Devi. In the olden days, it was believed that the Saubhagya Abharana or jewelry that a woman wears was the reason for the long life of her husband. Here, this Tatanka, that is why whenever we say Tatanka Mahima, it means that she bestows long life. That is a very, very important prayer to Devi. So the Tatanka is the earrings Devi is wearing. Mahadevi means Sri Vidya. Yeah, Pranamami Mahadevi. So I bow to this Mahadevi. So here, who is that Mahadevi? Who is that we are praying? It is the Sri Vidya. The gist of the above shloka is that mankind is controlled by Maya and is an eternal bondage with the samsara. She controls the Kala, that is Shamakarini, means she is the destroyer of the times that come chasing us with great speed like ocean of waves. Only when we are freed of these waves of time, we can overcome the conundrum of time and space and realize oneness with Mahatripura Sundari. That is, we are getting the Sayujya Padavi.
Yeah, so the Mahadevi, I think in the last class we saw the superficial meaning, where we said she is the Mahadevi, but Bhaskararaya interprets that word Mahadevi as the Sri Vidya itself. So this is something that he has made a note. And now moving on to a quick recap of verse 3. Verse 3 is Rakshitar Kshendu Kandarpa. No, I'm sorry. Yadaksharaika matrepi samsiddhe spardhate naraha Rakshitar Kshendu Kandarpa Shankara Nala Vishnubihi. This was a very interesting shloka that we saw, where 7 gods are mentioned.
And also Rakshi, we should change to Ravi.
No, so both of them mean the same thing. Rakshitra means one who is a protector. He is the synonym of Rakshitra is sun. That is the Ravi. Ravi and Rakshitra, they both mean the same thing. So there are Patha Vedams here. Some people say the Rakshitar Kshendu, whereas some people say Ravitar Kshendu. Rakshitra is the root like Pitra.
Pitra, yeah.
So Pitra, Pita, right? Yeah. So similarly, Rakshitra, Rakshita. So this is why we can the meaning doesn't change.
We can
So
substitute with Ravita
Ravitarkshendu
Kshendu
Kandarpa
Kandarpa. Yeah.
Shankara Nala Vishnubihi. So Yadakshareka Matrepi Aksharayeka Matre Api, even by telling one letter, just one akshara, Samsiddhe Spardhate Naraha. Spardha, as I mentioned in the last class, Spardha means competition. Samsiddhe Spardhate Naraha, a man, Naraha is man, a man can compete with these seven gods. Who are they? Ravi, sun, Tarkshya, Garuda, Indu, moon, Ravitarkshendu. Ravi plus Tarkshya plus Indu is Ravitarkshendu, that is sun, Garuda, and moon. Kandarpa, Shankara, Anala, Vishnu Bihi. Kandarpa is Manmatha, Shankara is Shiva, Anala is Agni, and Vishnu Bihi is Vishnu. Now, we already saw that the man can compete with these competes with these people for what? To get the samsiddhi. Samsiddhi of what? To acquire all the extraordinary qualities of these gods. So we went through what special qualities each of these gods have in the last class. Now, when it says someone is competing, it implies that and they competed and they won the competition. Someone enters any competition only when he is confident that he can win. Now, I want to enter into a drawing competition with someone. If I don't even know how to hold a pencil, would I even go to like compete with that person? There's no way that I would go and ask him, "Come, let us go for a drawing competition," right? So I'm confident that I can actually compete with these gods because I have the support of Devi in me. So this is why he is confident. The man who enters into competition with these gods is confident that he can win because of the support of Devi. Now, he, what is he competing for? He is competing for with these gods to get the extraordinary qualities.
Siddhi.
Some siddhi. And how does he get these? How is he able to get that support? This verse says that with only one syllable sadhana, this man has done a sadhana of Devi with only yadaksharaika matre api. With just a sadhana of one syllable, one matrika, he gets the grace of Devi and he gets to attain all the siddhis with her grace.
Yeah, here it's very interesting. Bhaskararaya says, according to Kaumudika Nyaya, if individually each of the above have so many powers and so many skills, how much power would that Devi, who has all of them, to has, like, if Ravi has all the power and we do the prayer to Ravi or the sun god, we get the power of Ravi. Same thing with the Garuda. So because here when we say compete, it means that you are getting all the powers of all those gods. And to get, so even alone one person has, they have so much power that is sufficient for us. But imagine how much power all of them together, because Devi has the power of all of them together. So he uses this Kaumudika Nyaya, where we will see that this Nyaya means just to show that if there is one thing and one power, each one is capable of doing, and it is multiplied million times when they are all, like, it's called the synergy power. So when they're all joined together, you just imagine how much we can benefit. So that is why this gives a prayer to this Devi. When you do this prayer, it means that you get all the siddhis of all those devatas who have. So you become much more than devatas, because Devi is controlling all those seven gods we mentioned. She is controlling the sun, she is controlling the Garuda, all of that. So this Kaumudika Nyaya, to understand that, we can use another Nyaya called the Arundhati Darshana Nyaya. Because, like, where, so here you all, like, you would have known that Arundhati, the wife of Vasishtha, during they are all like ideal couple. And after the marriage, they will say that they have to
The
see the
wedding
wedding. After the
ceremony.
wedding ceremony, they will see the star, Arundhati star. Like they will go to the sky and say,
The priest will
the priest will
say,
say, yeah,
see
see
the
this, yeah.
Arundhati star,
And Arundhati star is so small,
it's
like
not
it is
visible.
not visible. So how do they say that? Where do you say if it is not visible? They will say they will show something else which is next to that.
Yeah.
They will show some other star which is next to that and say that near that star is the Arundhati star, because they cannot directly show. So that is Arundhati, the Darshan Nyaya is where then to nail the main concept, we need to understand another. So another concept is explained just to nail the main concept.
Yeah.
So the main concept is what the Kaumudika Nyaya. Let us now also see how Bhana in Kadambari has also used this Kaumudika Nyaya. In fact, here it is used in the opposite sense. This Kaumudika Nyaya is used in the opposite sense, where if somebody has like one thing can give bad quality, and if they have many qualities which can give bad, like a negative, he says, assume how much worse that person can be. So during the coronation of Tarapida's son Chandrapida, it was customary those times, during when any prince is given the kingdom, you might think that, oh, who is the main person here? Everybody will say, okay, the king itself is the main person, or the ministers, or all the public. But no, during those times, the main person was the guru of the kingdom. He had that very important role in this coronation ceremony, where he has to address the crown prince. So here, the guru of that kingdom was Shukhanasa. He addresses Tarapida because he is going to become the king. He says, he advises him like what good conduct means, what are the qualities he should have, and all that. So he starts with Garbheshwaratvam, Abhinava Yavvanatvam, Apratima Rupatvam, Amanusha Shaktitvam, Cheti Magatiyam Khalu, Anartha Parampara, Sarvasya Ekasyamapi Yesham Ayatanam, Kimuta Samavayaha. It means what he says is there are four things in one's life which can lead to one's downfall if not managed properly. Being born rich. We may think, oh, being born rich is a great thing, but here he is giving the other side. Being born rich may also cause a big downfall. Enjoying the new phase of youthfulness, Abhinava Yavvanatvam. Somebody is youth, they think, oh, they can do anything because of their youth. They feel that they are so powerful. And Apratima Rupatvam, being handsome and charming. And Amanusha Shaktitvam, being the king's son, the prince, he has entire power. Whatever he wants to do, punishment to anybody he can do. Whatever he wants to do, he can do. So that is the type of person. So here he the Shukanasa, as the guru says, if anybody has just one of these quality, he can be downfall is imminent if not managed properly. But you, Chandrapida, you are very young. You are a king's son, so you are born like riches, like born with a golden spoon. Garbha means he is born when he was in Garbha, or when in the womb he was already rich. So Garbha Aishwaryam, Garbheshwaratvam, Apratima Rupatvam, then Abhinava Yavvanatvam, Amanusha Shaktitvam. And so here he says, when you have one, it can become negative and bad, and you have all the four. Imagine how much you can be on a slippery slope and fall down. And that is why he says him to be like fully aware of his role as the king, and not to be going in wrong ways, because as a king he will always have others who are called sycophants, will just tell him to go in the wrong way. So here Bhaskararaya mentions this and says, the reason why I am mentioning all this is, in this he says, if individually each of the above gods have so many powers and so many skills, how much power would Devi have, who is all having all of them together?
Yeah.
Then Bhaskararaya then talks about the words Shankara, Anala, Vishnubhigi. Vishnu and Shiva are explaining as the Jagat and Vyapara.
Jagat Vyapara.
Jagat Vyapara. So Jagat Vyapara means whatever is happening, we have taken life here, so we have to go through this life. That is the Jagat Vyapara. All that which is happening in this life for us, and they both are making us part of this universe, because they caused us to be here, and they are also both acting as in a part in this universe. Through many of the Puranas and Tantras we know, so like Vishnu takes so many avatara, so he becomes part of one of us also. Vishnu has lived like us and shown us how to live in this world. In those are either Krishna avatara, Rama avatara, we know that how we should lead our life. So that is how they explain the Jagat Vyapara. And Shiva has explained us so many things through the tantras. Just like those who do upasana of Brahman in their hridayam will get the labha of this Jagat Vyapara. What do Mahatripura Sundari's upasaka get? They get the same labha as said in Bhaskararaya says in the Saubhagya Bhaskara in the Lalita Sahasranama Phalashruti. It is said Devi's upasaka gets the samrajya with sadhana. So the sadhana and Devi you do, you get the highest samrajya, or the highest throne, or highest things which can be imagined. Like all the good things imagined in this life, she can give.
Yeah, so Bhaskararaya, we all think that, okay, it's a very simple verse. There can be only so much of a meaning to every word. But Bhaskararaya is one because of his shrewdness and smartness. He has he has studied the entire Vedas and Nyaya and of grammar of Sanskrit and everything. So he raises a question why this kind of a formation of words is made, and he brings out interpretations in so many different ways. So it's very interesting that you may be thinking, why are we explaining so in detail so much? But each of his words make us also to think and understand the deeper sense. Now, yadakshareka matrepi samsiddhe spardhate naraha. So now, yadakshareka matrepi, Bhaskararaya, then he continues to say, yadakshareka matre api. With that one syllable, I said that the siddhi can be attained by a man. Now he says, when I say one syllable can be used for sadhana, I mean by any one syllable of the Sri Vidya mantra. He also continues to say that in Manorama, that is another commentary of this Devi Stuti, in Manorama, the author says, I will not mention what this syllable is. And this syllable has to be given to the sadhaka by a Sri Guru. So, in another commentary of this Devi Stuti, the author has said that Yadaksharika, that one syllable has to be known to the sadhaka by a Sri Guru. He cannot just pick any one matrika and just start doing the sadhana. He has to be given that syllable through his guru. That's what another commentary, Manorama, says. So Bhaskara has mentioned this, and he said, while Manorama's author has said that, I have a strong belief that the one akshara that the sadhana has to be done is by using the one syllable of the Sri Vidya mantra. He has also said that as I mentioned, this Devi Stuti and NityaShodashikarnava, there are so many people who have given commentary. Bhaskararaya says others have even given that the pranavam is that one syllable that is mentioned here. He thinks that even pranavam is wrong. I don't feel that pranavam or any other guru mantra, any other matrika that a guru has given can be used to get the grace of Devi. It has to be one syllable of the Sri Vidya mantra. He is insisting that one syllable that you do sadhana on should be from the Sri Vidya mantra. Now, another interesting thing here shown is yadakshara eka matre api. So he has mentioned the word api, matre api, implying even if the matrika akshara doesn't have any bindu on it. So the matrika aksharas are a, I, u, and so on, right? A to ksha. Now he says this is only yadaksharaika matre api. Any akshara you take and eka matre api, just one matra of this one akshara you do sadhana, you will get the grace of Devi. And he says Bhaskararaya interprets this as, because it says just one syllable, it actually means that the matrika akshara doesn't need to have any bindu on it. It doesn't have to be or im or anything. Usually we do the matrika aksharas with the bindu. So he says doing sadhana on a matrika or bija alone yields anugraha of Devi. Now he quotes, Bhaskararaya quotes two examples, one of Satyavachas and Sudarshan from Devi Bhagavatam. Now, Satyavachas' story, I'll just quickly say that story. Satyavachas was a prince. He goes to a forest and he sees lions and tigers. He gets so frightened looking at the lions and tigers that he loses his mental stability and he starts screaming, I. Like out of fear, the one matra, the one akshara that comes out of his mouth is I. Like he says I, looking at the lions and tigers, and he loses his mental stability because of this fear, and he continuously starts chanting only that matrika called I, and he ends up chanting it so continuously, this I, which is part of the vagbhava bijam. So in the end, in the story, Devi gives him anugraha just because he chanted a part of the vagbhava bijam continuously without even having a bindu attached to it. So Vagbhava Vejam is Aim. Leaving the Im sound, he just, because of his mental instability, he starts screaming I, and he gets all the Anugraha of Devi. Now, the second story Bhaskararaya quotes is about Sudarshana, who was another prince who was thrown into the forest along with his mother by his stepbrother, and the stepbrother was made a king while Sudarshana had to be the was the righteous person to be ruling his after his father. But him and his mother were thrown into the forest, and when he was a kid, he hears someone there when they are living in the rishis ashrama. He hears someone saying a word called kliba, and he finds this word very interesting and catches the first sound kli. He keeps repeating, because he's a kid, he has got this new sound kli, and he continuously chants kli 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 continuously without the im. The kleem is the kamakala bijam. Without the im attached to it, he continuously chants the kli. Devi later appears to protect him in a war when the princess of Varanasi marries him. Princess of Varanasi, Shashikala, she is married to him, and then um, he has no support, no army to support him. Devi herself comes in Pratyaksha Rupa and gets him back the kingdom. So Bhaskar Raya quotes these two stories of Satyavachas and Sudarshana to prove the point that the Matrika Akshara are so powerful that even when chanted without the Bindu, the devotee gets the benefit of chanting the mantra. Here, we should understand that Bhaskararaya is providing this example for us to know how each Matrika Akshara, even when not a complete mantra, is so powerful, and imagine the power of the complete mantras then.
Along with the Bindu.
Bindu.
Yeah, so I think when I say it's a Kaimudikas Nyaya.
Yeah, Kaimudika
yeah.
Nyaya,
I think
yes.
I misspelled it. It's Kaimudika. Yeah, Kaimudika Nyaya.
Yeah.
And we will finish, we will stop the meaning now, and we will do the actual learning of the next.
I think the next two verses we chanted in the last class. So we can proceed with the meanings of. Let me see the time. Yeah. So, we'll quickly. I'll just give you a superficial meaning of the fourth verse. The fourth verse says, Yadakshara Shashijyotsna Manditam Bhuvanatrayam Vande Sarveshwarim Devim Mahashri Siddhamatrikam. Yadakshara Shashijyotsna Manditam Bhuvanatrayam Vande Sarveshwarim Devim Mahashri Siddhamatrikam. So here it actually talks about the Bindu. We will go into the details in the next class. So just now I said that without the Bindu, the Matrika themselves are very powerful. But here what happens? What is the job of the Bindu in a Matrika? What do they do? What is the power of the Bindus in Matrikas? So that is what he is explaining in the fourth verse. So because of lack of time, we will continue with the fourth verse in the next class. The meaning. We will just quickly
start with this. We'll learn this from actual to chant the sixth from sixth verses now.
Yeah.
And next week we can go through the
meanings. Yes. Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupini
Devim Mantramadim Naumi Matrikam Pitha Rupini Pranamami Mahadevim Matrikam Parameshwarim Kalahallo Halolola Kalana Shamakarini Yadaksharaika Matrepi Samsiddhe Spardhate Naraha Ravitarkshendu Kandarpa Shankara Nala Vishnubihi Yadakshara Shashi Jyotsna Manditam Bhuvanatrayam Vande Sarveshwarim Devim Mahashri Siddhamatrikam Yadakshara Mahasutra Protametad Jagatrayam Brahmandadi Katahantam Tam Vande Siddhimatrikam. We'll proceed to the sixth verse. Yadekadashamadharam
Yadekadashamadharam Yadekadashamadharam
Yadekadashamadharam Yadekadashamadharam Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam
Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam
Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam Yadekadashamadharam Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam
Yadekadashamadharam Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam
Yadekadashamadharam Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam Yadekadashamadharam Bijam Kodatrayodbhavam Brahmandadikatahantam
Brahmandadikatahantam Brahmandadikatahantam
Brahmandadikatahantam Brahmandadikatahantam Jagadadyapi drishyate
Jagadadyapi drishyate Jagadadyapi drishyate
Jagadadyapi drishyate Jagadadyapi drishyate Brahmandadikatahantam Jagadadyapi drishyate
Brahmandadikatahantam Jagadadyapi drishyate
Brahmandadikatahantam Jagadadyapi drishyate Brahmandadikatahantam Jagadadyapi drishyate Akachadi tatonadha
Akachadi tatonadha Akachadi tatonadha
Akachadi tatonadha Akachadi tatonadha. So taton in tatonadha akachaditatonnadha
akachaditatonnadha akachaditatonnadha
payashaksharavarginim
payashaksharavardhinim payashaksharavardhinim
payasaksharavarginim payasaksharavarginim akachaditatonnadha payasaksharavarginim
akachaditatonnadha payashaksharavardhinim akachaditatonnadha payashaksharavardhinim
akachaditatonnadha payasaksharavarginim ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र
ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र
ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम्
मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम् मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम्
मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम् मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम् ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम्
ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम् ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम्
ज्येष्ठाङ्गबाहुपादाग्र मध्यस्वान्तनिवासिनीम् तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम्
तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम् तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम्
तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम् तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम् सारात् साराम् परात् पराम्
सारात् साराम् परात् पराम् सारात् साराम् परात् पराम्
सारात् साराम् परात् पराम् सारात् साराम् परात् पराम् तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम् सारात् साराम् परात् पराम्
तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम् सारात् साराम् परात् पराम् तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम् सारात् साराम् परात् पराम्
तामीकाराक्षरोद्धाराम् सारात् साराम् परात् पराम् प्रणमामि महादेवीम्
प्रणमामि महादेवीम् प्रणमामि महादेवीम्
प्रणमामि महादेवीम् प्रणमामि महादेवीम् परमानन्दरूपिणीम्
परमानन्दरूपिणीम् परमानन्दरूपिणीम्
परमानन्दरूपिणीम् परमानन्दरूपिणीम् प्रणमामि महादेवीम् परमानन्दरूपिणीम्
प्रणमामि महादेवीम् परमानन्दरूपिणीम् प्रणमामि महादेवीम् परमानन्दरूपिणीम्
प्रणमामि महादेवीम् परमानन्दरूपिणीम् प्रणमामि महादेवीम् परमानन्दरूपिणीम्. So we will finish with this.
Verse 8. So we have chanted until verse 8. Please go through this video and try to get the chanting part. If you have any questions or concerns, we can quickly answer your question. We have a few more minutes left before the next Veda class and Rudram class support session. So if you have any question, please feel to ask now through Facebook or YouTube channel.
And we can answer.
And we can answer. If not, please post it. We will answer it in the next session. So please go through these two videos. We would recommend that you make notes so that this is something that you have to keep reading over and over before you actually get into the actual meaning, before it actually you are able to like remember those meanings whenever you chant them. So read those meanings so many times that you remember whenever you chant these verses, and you get the bhavana of what you're chanting, so that you can be in aikya with Devi herself.
This learning is not just like upanyasa discourse where you just listen. You have to actively, it is more a class, like a school. You have to actively learn, take notes, and then think about it. Then you get the total bhava of this Devi Stuti, which then if you get that at the end of the puja, at Sri Vidya Navavarana Puja, when you chant this, you get that extreme bliss when you get this.
Absolutely true. So one question has come up that this is the fifth verse. Is it Ghatahantam? It is not Ghatahantam. It is Katahantam. Kataha. Kataha is a word. We will explain the meaning in the next class. So it is not Ghatahantam.
Frying pan.
Yeah, Kataha means the frying pan, like ilupchetti that we say in Tamil. So we will go into that meaning in the next class. So as Raghuji said, this is not okay. Some another question has come. Is it Tamikara or
Tami?
Tamikara?
Tamikaram.
Yeah. Tamikaram.
Tamikaram. Tamikaraksharodharam. Akshara. Tam ikara aksharodharam.
If it is it's maybe it's typed a little. I don't know.
It is Tami.
It is Tamikara.
Tamikara aksharodharam sarat saram parat param. It is ikara. Tamikaram.
Yes. Tamikara. A has that that line on top. So that is the the sound is Tamikara. Oh, it is Tamikara. So the A after K has to have that line. It is not Tamikara. It is Tamikara. That's a good catch. We'll fix it. So please, as Raghuji said, what I was trying to say is, don't treat this as an upanyasa. We are not here to just give the upanyasa. You just listen to it, you enjoy this time and then forget about it. Please make notes and go through those notes and read them through again and again. And this is a very simple 12 verse only, so it will be very easy for you. So until next class, same time, it is 5:30 p.m. On Saturday evenings for the Pacific time zone, and morning 7 o'clock India time on Sundays. Please join us next week. There is another Sarat Saram, or it is Sarat. Please listen to our chanting and correct any typos that are there. Please correct them. It is Sarat Saram. Yeah, so we'll fix all those things. See you all next weekend, same time. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaste.